Today I've got a really fast, efficient, but still delicious version of Korean bibimbap made on a sheet pan. This version is very non-traditional, but still totally delicious. Instead of separately cooking all the different veggie components that are traditionally served alongside cooked rice in this recipe, we're gonna be cooking them all up on a sheet pan in the oven so that there's way less hands-on cooking time and you can get to eating this deliciousness a lot faster. If you haven't already, you guys should subscribe to Steamy Vegan below before we get into it, because I love to serve you up all sorts of delicious high-protein plant-based recipes every single week, and I don't want you to miss out. Join the fam, it's free right here, and let's get into this bibimbap. So if you're new to bibimbap, bibimbap literally translates in Korean to mixed rice. And that's exactly the first thing we need to get cooking is our rice. So this is the only thing that will not be cooked on the sheet pan. You can just cook this however you like, in a rice cooker or on the stove, whatever you like. So I've done a vast amount of research on the internet about bibimbap and what is traditionally used in it as far as vegetables go. And what I've concluded is it's the wild, wild west out here, and you can use whatever you want. Some things are traditional, like mushrooms, carrots, spinach, but you can pretty much take any vegetables that you have in your fridge and use them in this recipe. I got broccoli, bell pepper, onion, a few random little baby bok choys. Ooh, I just splashed myself on the forehead. That was refreshing. A little bit of leftover Napa cabbage. There's no rules here, man. There's no rules. Ooh, and I also have some daikon radish. Basically, we need to just chop everything up pretty much however you please, but I will show you how I chop them as we go. And then you're just gonna transfer them to a lightly oiled sheet pan. We're just gonna use some cooking spray. Now, I've got quite a lot of veggies here. Arguably, I have too many. Let's just be honest. So I'll be using 2 sheet pans, but it's really a you do you situation depending on how much you feel like cooking up. Sliced mushrooms, some thinly sliced onions, slice some cutie patootie baby bok choys in half. The key is to try and make sure these aren't like totally crowded, because we don't want them to steam. We do want them to get a little bit, you know, caramelized if possible. Slice my cabbage into kind of thin little chunks, like so. Then take your carrot, and I recommend slicing it into kind of skinny little strips. They don't have to be like julienne or matchstick thin, but you know, kind of yay big. And just peel and slice up your daikon, I would say in the same way. I think I might need a 3rd sheet pan, y'all. You do not need to go quite as nuts as I am on the vegetables. I just happen to have a lot of veggies to use up that I am determined to fit on 3 sheet pans. Cut the broccoli into small florets, slice up a bell pepper, and then let's not forget about some plant-based protein, yeah? And what I like to do is keep it real simple. Just cube up your tofu in, you know, maybe 1-ish inch chunks. You could also just tear it with your hands. Bada boom bing. You can kind of arrange it in a little layer here. We will season it, don't worry. It's not just gonna be plain Jane tofu. Alternatively, you could try using soy curls or even chickpeas if, you know, tofu's not your thing or you don't have any right now. Really any plant-based protein you like. I'm just gonna add a really light drizzle of soy sauce over the tofu, plus a light little dusting of some onion powder. You could always use garlic powder or really any seasoning blend you like, and just a teeny weeny pinch of salt. Give it a quick little toss. Ooh, nutritional yeast would also be delightful here as well, but at the moment, I really couldn't be bothered. But you do you, boo. Okay, people, would you just look at this vast cornucopia of vegetables and tofu. It's a beaut, okay? Let's just behold it for a moment. The last and final step to seasoning all these veggies is to just give everything a really, really light spritz of cooking oil. Now we can just grab a little bit of salt and just give everything a really light sprinkle. You don't have to limit yourself to just oil and salt. You can also add garlic powder, pepper, red chili flakes, really anything your heart desires. But this is just a very simple version that I'm showing you guys today. Okay, now all you have to do is get your sheet pans in a 450-degree Fahrenheit oven, and you're basically just going to cook your veggies for about 20 to 25 minutes tops, or really until they're cooked to your liking. I like them to be, you know, tender, still a little bit of bite, a little bit of browning, caramelized action, and make sure you flip them, turn everything over about halfway through so nothing burns, because that would be a major bummer. Brilliant. So next up, we're gonna make a really quick and easy, delicious gochujang sauce. It's spicy, but before we get to that, right now is the perfect time for you to hit that subscribe button below. I love to have fun around here with you guys. Cooking is my passion, and so is sharing a really easy, delicious, plant-based recipes with you all. And it really would make my day, and I would appreciate you so much for joining the fam. Would love to have you here. Thanks. Now, back to that gochujang sauce. Once again, in my vast research that I've done into bibimbap, there are no rules that I've detected when it comes to the sauce. Some people just put straight gochujang, just a big dollop of it right on their bowl when they're about to eat it, and then they mix it all up, which I say, all the power to you. I love that. But gochujang is a little thick. As you can see, it's like, you know, it's thick and sticks. So I've also seen people mix some fun stuff into it, and I'm like, okay, there's no rules here. We're gonna mix up some rice vinegar, some sesame oil. The sesame oil is going to give it a nice, rich, toasty, roasty nuttiness. The rice vinegar is gonna brighten up the sauce, make it zippy and tangy. And if you like things sweet, you could add a little bit of maple syrup, coconut sugar. I'm just mixing everything in one little bowl here, and we have a delicious sauce that you can pour over your bowl. Now this is something you cannot skip. Whether you just choose to do gochujang or make the sauce, you must have the gochujang, or else it ain't bibimbap. Obligatory taste test, obviously. Oh, it's so good. Oh my god, oh my god. Yum. Did I condense things down to 2 trays? Why, yes, I did. Did I do it for visual purposes? Yes, I did. We got some seriously golden brown roasty toasty action, and I am here for it. So here's the drill. You take a big bowl and you put some of that cooked rice in the bottom. And then we're gonna go down this little assembly line and build our bowls. So it's very important that you make your bowl look really beautiful, just exceptional. Like, it's gotta be the most aesthetic thing you've ever made in your whole life. You know why? Because then, you know what you gotta do, right? You gotta mix it all up. Just destroy it. Mix everything so that it's unrecognizable. And that is bibimbap. Ooh yeah, get everything coated in that delicious gochujang sauce. I wasn't gonna say it, but I'm gonna say it. This bibimbap, it's boppin'. If you want some more Asian-inspired vegan recipes, check out my Dan Dan dumplings and the viral dumpling lasagna recipe that I just posted right up here. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see ya in another video real soon. Ta-ta!